Hello everyone, this is Shane Lynn, VK4KHZ, your ARIS moderator for today. Through the help of amateur radio volunteers and the crew on the ISS, we soon hope to establish radio contact with the International Space Station as it flies more than 400 kilometres above the Earth over New Hampshire, USA. This is all accomplished through ARIS, which is amateur radio on the International Space Station. The ISS is currently approaching New Hampshire, travelling along at around 27,500 kilometres an hour. The contact for today will be performed using the ARIS Telebridge network. It's a worldwide network of amateur radio ground stations that enable students and youth groups to contact the ISS. ARIS is an international consortium of volunteers that assist to develop and operate the amateur radio equipment on board the International Space Station. Those agencies that support ARIS are the American Radio Relay League, the worldwide AMSAT, Amateur Radio Satellite Corporations, the Canadian Space Agency, the European Space Agency, the Japanese Space Agency, Roscosmos, the Russian Space Agency, and of course NASA. The amateur radio ground station that will establish radio contact with the ISS today is ARIS Ground Station AB10C, located in Hollis, New Hampshire, USA, and operated by Fred Kemmerer. Thanks for helping us out today, Fred.
You're quite welcome, Shane.
This contact will also be live broadcast worldwide through the amateur radio Echolink and IRLP systems, courtesy of Bob Pittman, VK2 ADF. Thanks, Bob. Well, we have around 5 minutes until contact time. Our link up today will be with the Scouts Victoria, located at the VicJam event in Elmore, Victoria, Australia. Now let's check in with the group, and we've asked Rob Burns, Chief Commissioner of Victoria, to please tell us about this huge event and the Scouts that are taking part today. Over to you, Rod.
Good evening. I'm here at VicJam in Victoria, Australia, where over 7,000 Scouts are experiencing the adventure of their lifetime. 3 years of planning, weeks of construction in the lead-up have created the site of a small town where youth can achieve a range of life-changing activities. Our ancestors believed that the horizon was where you fell off the earth. You couldn't go past the horizon because there was nothing there. Here at VicJam, we're forging new paths for scouting traditions to look beyond the horizon. Just as you're doing on the space station, we too are rising to the highest vantage point with the widest view. Scouting and the space program have maintained a long and highly valued association. The spirit of adventure, exploring the unknown, leadership and resourcefulness are all intrinsic parts of the scouting program, which develops high-achieving adults who can go on to become the engineers, scientists and astronauts of the future. Of the 312 pilots and scientists selected as astronauts since 1959, at least 207 have been identified as having been scouts. And it's no coincidence that 11 of the 12 humans that have walked the face of the moon had all been through the scouting program. Space is one of our final frontiers of exploration, and the International Space Station is at the forefront of this in one of the most hostile environments imaginable. The ISS has demonstrated its global importance as a research platform for international scientific collaboration for over 20 years. Research in these extreme environments helps us to learn valuable lessons that have application for our life here back on Earth. Human biology, plant biology, earth science, physics, and of course the important educational support work done for STEM programs for millions of students and teachers across the globe. The contributions of space research serve as inspiration to all those who follow your journey and ignite curiosity in young, impressionable leaders of our future. Over.
Excellent. That was very well timed, Rod, and thanks very much for your address. Fred, before the contact begins, can you please tell us about your ARIS ground station, where you are, and how you'll handle the conversation? Over to you.
Sure, Shane. Hello, everyone. This is Fred Kemmerer, AB10C. I'm living in Hollis, New Hampshire, which is in the northeastern part of the United States, about 60 kilometers north of Boston, Massachusetts. The station here uses computers to track the ISS and make our contact possible. The ISS is going to come over the horizon northwest of us here in about a minute 40 seconds. And we'll be positioning the antennas here at about a minute before, in about 30 seconds, to line up with where the ISS will come up. Our contact's going to last approximately 10 minutes until the ISS moves out over the Atlantic Ocean and sets, goes over the horizon. So with that, Shane, I'll pass it back to you.
Excellent. Good on you. Thanks, Fred. Well, we have just a little over 1 minute before the space station comes over AB10C, Amateur Radio Ground Station. I'd like everyone to remember that what we're doing on the ISS is an experiment, so we can never tell the results positive or negative until the experiment is over. And Scouts, please don't forget to say the word over at the end of your question. Well, in about a minute's time, or just under a minute, we've got about 55 seconds or thereabouts, the station will be coming over Fred's ground station. So, Fred, I'll hand it over to you for now, just to get prepared and to have the students get ready to be lined up. So good luck, and I wish you all the best. Back over to you, Fred.
Thank you, Shane. The antennas here are positioning to where the ISS is going to come over the horizon right now. I'm going to open the squelch on the radio so you all will hear radio noise as we begin calling the ISS and hope to make contact. Students, good luck with your contact, and don't forget to say over after you ask your question. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Alpha Bravo 1 Oscar Charlie for a scheduled school contact. Over. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Alpha Bravo 1 Oscar Charlie for a scheduled school contact. Over. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Alpha Bravo 1 Oscar Charlie for a scheduled school contact. Over. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Alpha Bravo 1 Oscar Charlie for a scheduled school contact. Over. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Alpha Bravo 1 Oscar Charlie for a scheduled school contact. Over.
Go ahead, this is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. Over.
U.S. Elmore, good. Thank you so much for doing the contact with us today. Are you ready for the students' questions? Over.
Let's do it.
All right, students, good luck with your contact.
Alex, what 3 things do you miss from Earth? My mom worked on a ship and missed things such as sleeping with the window open, the smell of cut grass, and the sound of rain on the roof. Over.
Exactly those things. Anything associated with weather, being outside, those are things I miss. Over.
I'm Alana asking a question for Logan. What do you have to do to become an astronaut? Over.
To become a U.S. astronaut, you've got to have a master's degree now, 3 years of experience that builds on that degree, and of course get through the interview process. Over.
I'm Violet, and my question is, what would happen if someone was seriously ill on the ISS, and what would you do? Over.
Fortunately, we can call the doctors, and we have medical supplies and equipment on board, so we get lots of advice, and we've had training on how to deal with situations before we launch. Over.
Hi, I'm Will asking a question for Piper. How do you prepare and eat your meals while up in the space station? Over.
I'm sorry, say again. Over.
Piper, ask your question, please.
Hi, I'm Will asking a question for Piper. How do you prepare and eat your meals while up in the space station? Over.
Great question. Some items we just eat right out of the packaging. Thank you. Other items we rehydrate with a water dispenser, and then some items we just put in on a hot plate to warm up. Over.
I'm Angus. My question is, what is it like to float around with no friction and no gravity? Over.
It's a lot like falling. Imagine being in a room where the entire room is falling, and that's exactly what's happening for us. We just keep going so fast around the Earth that we keep missing the Earth as we fall towards it. Over.
Hi, this is Chris asking a question for Sebastian. How does it feel going from zero gravity in space back to Earth's gravity? Does it hurt? Over.
My last flight, yes, after the flight, it hurt when I bent over and tied my shoes because my muscles that I use for balancing were fairly weak. Over.
Hi, I'm Joshua, and my question is, what's the scariest thing that happened to you whilst in space? Over.
The scariest thing that happened to me in space was when I had during a spacewalk, my computer on my spacesuit had a problem. I had to turn off the suit, and it immediately felt hot, and because of the heat, I had a hard time seeing the switches, and was really having a hard time flipping the switch to turn the suit back on. Over.
Hi, I'm Tyler. How do you have a shower and go to the toilet in space? Over.
We can't really have water flow to take a shower, so we use a wetted towel to wipe ourselves down. That's the best we can do. And then, if you can imagine, every time you use water to remove undesirables from you, we use airflow instead. Over.
Chloe Cooper, after being in space the station for so long, how does it feel to experience planet Earth and nature with all your senses, especially smell? Over.
It feels absolutely fantastic. I just have a very strong appreciation for all things outdoors. Over.
I'm Riley, and how do the seasons affect the veggie production system on the ISS, and how often do you get to eat fresh food? Over.
We actually aren't affected by the seasons on the space station because we have an environment that is completely enclosed, and we get fresh food every time a cargo spacecraft delivers food, but also we've grown some food up here, and I probably have that once every 2 months. So I would say about once a month we get fresh food. Over.
I'm Ruby Jane. Did you always want to be an astronaut, and how did you make it happen? Over.
I always thought being an astronaut would be cool. Never thought it would be possible for me. And I think the best I can say about how this happened to me was I kept choosing challenging things to do because I enjoyed them. Over.
Hi, I'm Sebi. My question is, why do people go into space, and how long is an average mission? Over.
People currently go to space both for exploration and science, primarily science, and the average mission is about 6 months long. Over.
Hi, I'm Billy. How did you feel when you first learned of your selection to go to space, and has it always been a lifelong ambition of yours? Over.
I felt like jumping for joy. I could not believe how fortunate I was to get this job, and again, it was never something I believed would be possible, so I wouldn't say it was a lifelong ambition. Over.
I'm Bella, asking for Angus. Can you share some of the science that was worked on in space that we can now see on Earth? Over.
Sure. The development of radars for the lunar landers actually directly resulted in our ability to use CAT scans today for medical purposes. Over.
Brian for Chloe B. Is there sound or much noise in space? Over.
Outside the space station, without much for sound to travel through, there isn't any. But inside the space station, it's actually quite loud. Lots of fans. When there's Piotr is exercising next to me, and I can hear the treadmill moving. So it's actually quite loud inside the space station. Over.
Neil here. Multiple nations have had space stations, each bestowed with a specific name. Russia had Mir, NASA had Skylab, and China Tiangong-1. As a truly international effort and the largest man-made object in space, does the ISS have a nickname, or is there a name that the astronauts use for individual components? Over.
We don't really have a nickname for the space station. We, on the U.S. side, wanted to call it Alpha, but we got away from that because it implies first, and it was not the first space station. So, but every module does have technical terms, and some have nicknames. For example, we've got Russian modules that are called Star. There's modules on the U.S. segment that are called Hope, but we don't typically refer to them. We might refer to them as Node 2 or Unity. Unity is another nickname that we don't commonly use. Over.
Hi, my name's Hannah, and my question is, what energy supply do you use to power the station? If it's nuclear, then what type of reactor do you use? And if it's solar, then how many solar panels do you need, and what are their power density? Over.
Great question, Hannah. I actually had to call the ground control team to ask for help to answer this one. I did know we do not use nuclear power up here. We use exclusively solar power for everything. And we have 14 solar panels on the space station, 8 on the U.S. side, 6 on the Russian side. And the power efficiency of the U.S. solar arrays is 11 to 15%. Over.
Thank you so much. And on behalf of VicJam, I'd like to say thank you so much for giving up your time to answer our questions. We've all found it super interesting to hear your experiences, and we wish you all the best going forwards. Thank you. Over.
Thanks for sharing your time with me. It was really a pleasure. I really appreciated these very thoughtful questions, and it was a pleasure to talk to you all. Over.
All right, students, great job, and thank you very much, Mark. This is B10C Station Clear. Good luck and all the best.
And back to you all. This is November 1 Sierra Sierra out.
AB10C Clear.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just shared a wow moment of history. Amateur radio station AB10C, located in Hollis, New Hampshire, USA, and operated by Fred Kemmerer, contacted astronaut Mark Vande, KG5GNP, operating as NA1SS aboard the International Space Station, and spoke with students attending Scouts Victoria VicJam event in Elmore, Victoria, Australia. Now, for the international volunteer team of ARIS, including the amateur radio satellite corporations around the world, the American Radio Relay League, the Canadian Space Agency, the European Space Agency, the Japanese Space Agency, Roscosmos, and NASA, this is Shane Lind, your ARIS moderator, sending my greetings to you all in amateur radio terms, 7 threes, which means best wishes. Congratulations, Scouts. That was a great contact. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much to everyone involved. We really appreciate the opportunity. Over.